Go ahead and open your book to page 32. Make sure that you have the title of today's notes, Chapter 1, Lesson 4, and today's date, September 29th, 2020. At the top of your clean page in your notebook, then put your notebook underneath your book. Put your notebook underneath your book. That should have already been done. Put your notebook underneath your book. Your textbook should be open to page 32. When I see that everybody is ready, we will continue. Okay, pay close attention to this lesson because this is a lesson that we are going to be seeing aspects of in almost every single chapter. Because almost every single chapter that we do this year, we'll be talking at some point about natural resources. So go ahead and read on page 32. Zadie.
Natural resources. You were there. You wake to the loud buzz of your alarm clock. You're still sleepy, but you head to the kitchen for breakfast. You pour a bowl of your favorite cereal and a big glass of juice. Then you brush your teeth, wash and dress. Grab your backpack and rush to catch the bus to school.
Keep going.
Just an ordinary morning, right? Maybe, but none of it would be possible without natural resources. What is a natural resource? It's something found in nature that people can use, such as water, soil, trees.
So Zadie, what's our first vocabulary word?
Natural resources.
Natural resources. And we're going to go ahead and make that singular. So how would I make that singular? Oh, it is already singular. Sorry. Sorry, it is already singular. Natural resource. And what is a natural resource, Zadie?
It's something found in nature that people can use, such as water, soil, and trees.
So a natural resource is something found in nature. Underline found in nature. The rest are just examples, so we're not going to write that. But something found in nature, for example, water, soil, and trees. Look at underline found in nature. Does that mean human beings create natural resources? Aaron? No. Natural resources are found in nature. That means they are made by nature. Humans do not make natural resources. Humans use natural resources to create something else. Can humans make water? Zadie?
No.
No. Can humans make soil? No. Can humans, think about this, can they make new trees? Ethan? Well, we can plant new trees, so they are kind of something that we can replace. But if all the trees were gone, could we make new trees? No. Right now, yes, we can make new trees because we can do what? How can we make new trees now? Who can help them out? Carla?
So, have some seeds and put it in the ground and water it.
You can plant seeds, but what if all the trees were gone? Would we have seeds anymore? Remember in science, if all the trees were gone, Kingston, would we have seeds anymore? So could we plant new trees? Answer out loud because the people at home can't see what you're doing. No. If all the trees, right now, we can plant new trees. But if all the trees are gone, well, we're out of luck. because the trees are what make the seeds. And if all the trees are gone, can we make more seeds? No. Quickly, Kingston. That's true. We also would not be able to breathe. Very good. Okay, read next. Aaron, read loud and slow. Zadie, hand down unless it's emergency. Read just that first paragraph and then I'll let you know to keep going or not.
Land resources.
Louder.
Land resources. The United States has many important natural resources. People depend on them to grow food, raise animals, and build homes.
Without natural resources, we wouldn't be able to do any of these things. We wouldn't be able to grow food. We wouldn't be able to raise animals. We wouldn't be able to build homes, which means we would have nothing to eat, nothing to wear, nowhere to live. Go ahead and keep going, Aaron. Let's talk about the first resource that comes from the land. All of these resources that we're about to read come from the land. So we're going to read about land resources and water resources and mineral and fuels. These are all things that come from the land. What's our first land resource, Aaron?
Soil.
Louder.
Soil. Much of our nation has fertile soil.
Fertile means it grows things. You can grow things in it well.
Especially in this river valleys. Especially in its river valleys.
Is there a comma or anything between river and valleys?
No,
So are we talking about two different places?
no.
Or are we talking about a river valley? That's a valley between two mountains where there is a river. So try that sentence again.
Much of our nation has fertile soil, especially in its river valleys and on its plains. This rich soil helps farmers grow large amounts of food. Every year, farmers in the United States grow wheat, corn, dates, soybeans, and other crops.
Pause. So our soil in a lot of the country is very good for growing new crops. It's fertile. That means it has lots of nutrients. It doesn't get too wet or too dry. And it's good for growing crops. So a lot of our food we are able to get because of this soil. Does anybody make soil? Do people make soil? You can just tell me. No, you can tell me out loud. You can, if I'm not doing this, that means you can just tell me out loud, whatever. No,
No.
nobody makes soil. We find it on the land. You go out, you dig a hole, there's some soil. Okay, without it, if we did not have fertile soil, would we be able to grow plants as easily? No. Okay, Cullen, go ahead and read next. Go read loud and slow. Read every word before you say it.
Ranchers in the United States also depend on soil. They need grasses and crops to feed the other,
Not the other, but
fed the other,
not the other. What does that say? You said feed right, but it's not the other. What is that word?
their castle,
Not castle, there's no S. To replace the S with a T sound, and what do you get?
cot,
Cover up TLE. And what do you have?
cat,
Cover up CAT. And you have
tail,
tull.
tull,
So, cat, tull.
cattle,
What is that? Cattle. But we don't say it like that. How do we say it? Who can help her out? We don't say cattle. Michaela?
Cattle.
Cattle. Like cows.
They need grasses and crops to feed their cattle and others livestock.
So not only do we need the soil, the fertile soil, to grow plants for us to eat, but ranchers, who are people who raise cattle and livestock instead of crops, need that need that fertile soil so there's grass and things for the animals to eat. So not only do humans need fertile soil, but animals need it too. Otherwise they don't get their food. Okay, Cullen, keep reading about the next land resource that we need.
Trees. Trees grow well in many parts of our nation. In fact, forests cover nearly 1/3 of the land in the United States. People use trees to make homes and many wood products, such as furniture. Pencils and the paper in this book are made from trees too.
Good. So not only is soil an important land resource, but so are trees. Do human beings create the seeds that grow into trees? No. They are natural. They are created in nature by nature. We use trees, we mostly use them for our shelters, where we live, to build our homes. We also need them for the things that make our homes comfortable, like furniture. If we just had a home, well, we'd be protected from the rain, but would it be a very nice place to be the rest of the time? No, we need furniture for that. We also need wood for pencils and paper. You guys all know that paper is made out of wood, right? Yes, you should. And then, do we sometimes need trees for food? Victoria?
Yes.
Why? Why do we sometimes need trees for food?
Because sometimes food grows on trees like banana trees,
Good.
apple trees, like berry bushes.
Yes. Sometimes food grows on trees, mostly fruits. I think all fruits. I don't think any vegetables grow on a tree.
Lemon tree?
Yes, Sadie.
And some syrups come from trees.
And some syrups too. Very good. They come from the sap of maple trees. You mix that with some other stuff and then you've got syrup. So yes, mostly we use trees for shelter and for things that we need in our shelters. But we do also need it for food too. And in order to have trees, do we need good soil? Yes. So sometimes these natural resources need other natural resources in order to grow well or to appear well. Okay, thank you, Cullen. Read next. Carla. I knew it was C, but I was thinking, okay. Yes, Carla, it's your turn. Read loud and slow.
Resources.
Renewable. That's the word renewable. Renewable, Carla. Renewable.
Renewable resources.
This is a very important paragraph, so listen closely. Read closely. Carla, keep going.
Trees are examples of a resource that is
Renewable, Carla.
renewable. People can plant new trees to replace the one they use.
So pause. Carla, what's our second vocabulary word?
Renewable.
Renewable. Now, there's not really a good definition to pull out. So where should we look for the definition of this word? I'm going to pick a stick because whoever I pick is the one that gets to find it. Michaela, where should we look? In the glossary. So now Michaela's going to look in the glossary to find it, and she's going to tell us, does that mean that nobody else should be looking either? Everybody find it in the glossary. Michaela's the one that's going to read it to us. Remember, the glossary is the second to last section. It has a turquoise little tab on the side that says the word glossary. A glossary is a dictionary that only includes words. I just did it, Carla, don't worry. A glossary is a dictionary that only includes words from the text that you are reading. Michaela, did you find renewable?
Yes.
What does the word renewable mean? Read it loud and slow. Because I don't know why. This book doesn't, the teacher's manual doesn't have the glossary in it.
Something that can be made again by nature or people.
Good. Something that can be made again by nature or by people. Ooh, this is a really good word for a suffix and prefix mini lesson. So first I'll give you a chance to write the definition of renewable, something that can be made again by nature or by people. You can copy it from the glossary if you're there, or you can copy it from the board if you're not, and then you can go back to page 33. But we're going to do a real quick prefix and suffix mini lesson on renewable.
You like it when when subjects get together.
I do. That's called integrating subjects. And yes, I do. It makes things so much better. Because then you can see, does reading only matter in reading class?
No.
No. Does social studies only matter in social studies class?
No.
Does science only matter in science class?
No.
And everything else. So let's look at the word renewable. Who sees a teeny tiny little word in the word renewable? Victoria. New. If we cover up the RE and the ABLE, we see new. Well, let's keep the ABLE covered and let's look at RE. RE is a prefix. Remember, prefix are letters at the beginning of a word that kind of change the meaning. If you see RE at the beginning of a word as a prefix, that means it happens again. So new means something is brand new. It's never been made before, whatever. It's never been used. Well, renew means RE, the prefix means do it again. So renew means you're making something new again. So to renew is a verb. It means you're making something new again. If you add the suffix able to the end of a verb, it turns it into an adjective. It means it's a thing that you are able to renew. So new is an adjective. It means that something has never been used. You put re at the beginning, it turns it into a verb, meaning you can do it again. You can make it new again. Now it's a verb. You add able to the end of a verb, you're turning it into an adjective, in this case back into an adjective. That means you can renew it. You can do that verb, renew it, to an object if you have able at the end. So a renewable resource is something that can be made again by nature or by people. In this case, trees are renewable for now. Because what happens with trees? What can we do with trees that makes them renewable? Zari?
We can plant them again.
We can plant more. If we have to use some trees, Zadie, stop playing with it. If we have to use some trees, we can plant more to replace them, and that's what we should be doing. Well, Carla, keep going.
However, trees need many years to grow. This is a reason people
For this reason, Carla, read slow. Make sure you're reading the words that are there in the order that they give them in.
Yes, ma'am. For this reason, people in the United States work together to use forest resources wisely.
Good. So even though trees are renewable because we can plant more, do they grow really quickly? So if we have to cut down a tree, but then we want that shade, are we going to get that shade right away? No, because it takes a long time for trees to grow. So does that mean we can just go ahead and cut down all the trees we need because we can always plant more? Because how long is it going to be before those trees are actually doing what they were before? Aaron?
Like 100 years.
Maybe 100 years. Some of these really tall trees that we see are like hundreds of years old. So we shouldn't just because they're renewable doesn't mean we should just go ahead and use all of them. Also, if we use way too many and then there's none left, are they renewable anymore? No. Because once all the trees are gone, can we plant more? Can we get seeds to plant more when all the trees are gone? No. Because who makes the seeds? Trees. And if they're gone, are they there to make more seeds?
No.
No. Okay, let's look at this reading check. Why are natural resources important? Why are natural resources important? Everybody should be able to come up with an answer for this. Why are natural resources important? Smith.
They are important because if they were not here, we wouldn't be here.
Why? What do we need natural resources to do? What specific things do we need natural resources to do?
To be able to live, like eat.
So to grow food, we need natural resources to grow food. What else?
To get water.
To get water. Well, we're not quite there yet. Just the ones we've read so far. We need it to get food. Kingston? So that we can breathe. But what have we read about so far? Zadie?
We need it so we can grow things, like we need soil.
So for food, we need it for food. What else? Victoria?
Homes, furniture.
For houses. And who else needs the plants? Cullen? Zadie?
Animals.
Animals. So people depend on natural resources to grow food, to raise animals, and to build homes. Okay, so those are the land resources. Is soil renewable? Can we make more soil? Can nature make more soil? Zadie?
No.
No. But trees are renewable for now. Soil is not renewable because we can't make more soil. Nature can't make more soil. It's all just kind of there. Oh my gosh, no, I'm sorry. I told you the wrong thing. Soil is renewable because what happens? Where does soil sometimes, where does some soil come from? Michaela?
Underground.
Well, underground, but over time, what becomes the soil? Let's see. This is a science lesson that you probably learned a long, long, long time ago. Smith?
Dead animals.
Dead animals. What else? What else makes up the soil? We've got dead animals. Kingston? Dead plants. Zadie?
Their restroom.
Animals using the restroom. Aaron?
You could turn things into soil by like banana peel.
Yes, so basically dead plants. Dead plants, old food, dead animals, animal waste, all of those things come together to create soil. So is soil renewable? I was thinking about something else. Is soil renewable? As long as we still have trees and animals, yes. Soil is renewable because as long as there are trees and there are animals, they will die, they will use the restroom, they will create more soil. Trees, as long as there are still trees alive, we are able to plant more trees. But will they stay renewable forever and ever and ever if we don't be careful? No. Because if we don't be careful and there's no more plants and there's no more animals, well, there's no more soil. If there's no more trees, well, then there's no more trees. Oops. Okay. Turn the page. So we just talked about land resources, trees and soil. They are both renewable. We are able, well, we don't create more, but the plants, the trees create more trees because they create seeds, The soil, well, dead trees, dead animals, animal waste, creates more soil. Okay, Victoria, go ahead and read to us about the next type of resource. Hold on one second, let me, before I run out of. Go ahead.
Water resources.
A little louder.
Water resources. Water is perhaps our most important natural resource. People cannot survive more than a few days without it. People get fresh water from several sources and use it in many ways.
So what's probably the most important natural resource? Class.
Water.
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 Water itself is one of, if not the most important natural resource. Okay, keep going. Read the next, you can read the next section.
Getting fresh water. Lakes, rivers, streams, and groundwater.
Not simply,
Something.
there's no M. You're reading an M where there isn't one. Point to it so that you can see exactly what letters are in that word. Point to it, Victoria. Use your finger. Chunk it. Cover up PLY. And what do you have? Sup. Cover up SUP. And what do you have? That Y sounds like long I. So supply. What is that word?
Supply.
There you go.
Water supply.
Sorry. Mute yourself, please. Sit up. Sit up. Thank you. Keep going.
Almost all the fresh water people use. Groundwater is the water that sinks beneath Earth's surface when it rains and snows.
So Victoria, what's our third vocabulary word?
Groundwater.
Groundwater. And what is groundwater?
Is the water that sinks beneath Earth's surface when it rains or snows.
The water that sinks beneath Earth's surface when it rains or snows. That's important because that's where some of our water that we use comes from. It comes from lakes, rivers, streams, which are on top of the earth, but then it also comes from groundwater, unless it's an emergency. Put your hand on. It also comes from groundwater, which is water beneath Earth's surface. Lakes, rivers, and streams are all on Earth's surface. Groundwater is beneath Earth's surface. It's the water that sinks beneath the Earth's surface when it rains or snows. Victoria, when you're finished, go ahead and read that last paragraph of that section.
In some places, people did deep wells to get groundwater. In others, people pumped water from rivers or human-made lakes. They may dig ditches and lay pipes across the land to bring water into dry areas.
Good. So because of groundwater, we are able to get water to dry areas because sometimes even in those dry areas deep below the earth, there is groundwater. Remember, groundwater is the water below Earth's surface. Lakes, rivers, and streams is the water above the surface of the earth, or on the surface of the earth, actually. Not above, that's like floating. Okay, very good, Victoria. Is water a renewable resource? Think about it. Do we have places where we can get more water for now? Smith.
Yes.
For now. Because of what, Smith?
Because of rain and snow.
Because of rain and snow, groundwater specifically. Because when we get to science, we'll learn that rain and snow, Zadie, hand down. Sometimes you won't get to say everything, but you've got to be listening to what I'm saying instead of thinking about what you want to say. Because when your hand is up, you're thinking about what you want to say. I've said this so many times, not thinking about what's going on around you. So for now, because of groundwater, because rain and snow are actually not brand new water. We'll learn that in science when we get to the water cycle. Rain and snow is water that was already on Earth's surface that evaporated and then rained or snowed back down. But because of groundwater, are we using the groundwater, that water that's way under the ground right now? So if we run out of water on the surface of the Earth, well, we still have that. So for now, water is renewable. But once this is gone, is water going to be renewable anymore? No. So it's just like trees and soil. For now, water, trees, and soil are renewable. But if human beings are not careful, will they be renewable forever? They will become non-renewable. Okay, thank you, Victoria. Read next. Zari's not. Ethan, read next. Loud and slow. Pull your mouse down so that we can hear you, and face this direction when you read. Pull your mask down and face this direction when you read. Victoria, can you tell Ethan where you left off? Ethan, that's a consequence. You need to pay attention. Where did you leave off, Victoria?
I left off at
Louder, and you have to read the subtitle. Hold on. Louder, Ethan. If we can't hear you in the classroom, then you're going to get a consequence, and we're going to have to get somebody else. We heard you earlier, so I want to hear you now.
Use it water. People use water in many ways. They drink it and use it to wash and to cook. People also use it.
Louder. You're getting quieter. Go slower.
People also use water for boating and other activities for fun.
So do we just use water to survive? Zadie?
No.
No. What else do we use water for?
Having fun.
Having fun. If you like to swim, if you like to go on a boat, if you like to go to the lake, if you like to go to the beach, well, you're also using water for fun. So water does not only help us to survive, water can also be fun. Okay, keep going, Ethan. Read that next section. Loud. You're starting out well, but then you start to get a little faster and a little quieter. So you've got to keep your voice loud and slow the whole time.
Industries use a lot of water too. And
Industry.
industry is all the business that make one kind of product or provide one kind of service.
Okay, what is our next word, Ethan? Industry. Industry. And what is an industry, Ethan?
The industry is all business that make one kind of product or provide one kind of service.
So an industry is all the businesses that make one kind of product.
Miss Buzz, can you see me?
No, you're to the side. Okay, now I can, yes. Okay, I can see your arm, but not you. So first, all the businesses, that's supposed to be plural, all the businesses that make one kind of product. So if we think of one kind of product, we'll think about a car. So the car industry would include the factories that make the parts. for the car. It would actually start with the factories that mine or find the natural resources that go into making car parts. That's the first one of the businesses. Then we've got the factories that make the car parts. Then we've got the factories that put the cars together. Then we've got all the shipping companies that get the car parts and the cars from one place to another. And then we've got the car dealerships that sell the cars. So there's 5 different types of businesses going into one industry. The other type of industry is all the businesses that make one kind of product or provide one kind of service. So a service is something, it's not a product, like a hospital, the medical industry. Do hospitals make a product for you? No. They provide a service. They make you feel better. So the healthcare industry would include all the factories that make the medicines, all the factories that make the medical equipment, plus the parts that go into it, all of the doctors, all of the insurance companies that make sure that the hospital is getting paid. All of those things would go into the medical industry, which provides a service. So we talked about all the businesses that make one kind of product, like the car industry. We talked about all the businesses that provide one kind of service, like the healthcare industry. So services are not products, like healthcare, education, building houses, those kind of things. Well, the builders are the ones that are the service. So it's kind of both, I guess. Okay, Ethan, go ahead and finish out that paragraph. Loud and slow.
For example, farmers need water to grow crops. Fishers catch fish in the water in some parts of
Oh, we're not there yet, remember? You stop at the end of the block of text. Good, so those are industries that use water. Farmers need water to grow crops. Fishermen need water to catch the fish. Where do fish live? Victoria?
in the water.
In the water. But also a lot of big factories need water that you don't even think of because they use water as a power source, which is what we're going to read about next. Thank you, Ethan. Read next, me. Even though I'm reading, you still need to follow along. In some parts of the United States, water is used as a source of power. The energy from moving water can be used to provide electricity. That electricity lights homes and offices and runs machines in factories. So not only do we use water to drink, to wash, to cook, to grow other things, for fun, but we also need it for electricity. Did you know that? Did you know we can use water to make electricity? Zadie?
Yes.
Yeah, because the water creates energy. If it's moving really quickly, it creates energy. That's why when you see dams, a lot of times they're near power plants because they're using that water to create energy. Energy creates electricity. Okay, so water is a renewable resource for now. So what are the renewable resources that we've talked about so far? Carla, tell me one.
One is the trees.
Trees, because for now they're renewable because we can plant more. But if all the trees are gone, will we be able to get more seeds to plant more? No. So they're renewable for now, but if we're not careful, they won't be renewable forever. Zadie, what's another one?
Water.
Water, because we have this groundwater that's not being used. But once this groundwater is gone, can humans make more water?
No.
So will it be renewable anymore?
No.
No. And what's another one? What's the third one that we've talked about? Kingston? Which is what? Soil. Soil is renewable because the plants and animals die and have wastes. But once the plants and animals are gone, will we be able to make more soil, Kingston? No. So even these resources that are renewable, will they stay renewable forever and ever and ever? No. Another one, what about animals? Are animals a natural resource? Are animals a natural resource? Smith?
Yes.
Yes, because do we create animals? Do humans create animals, or are they created in nature, Smith?
They are created in nature.
Do we use animals for things?
Yes.
Like what?
Well, a long time ago, they used animals for clothing.
We still use animals for clothing. Do you have shoes that are made out of leather? Probably. Leather is made out of animals. So people still use, if your parents have a leather jacket, leather is animal, suede is animal. There are still fabrics we use that are made from animals. If you have a real fur coat, it's made from animals. So we do actually some people do still wear clothes made from animals. So what else? So clothing. Smith?
Food.
Food. Is it like water where we only need animals to survive, Smith?
No.
Do we sometimes have animals for fun?
Yes.
Like what? Animals for fun are called what?
Pet.
Pets. We have pets. So just like water, we don't necessarily just use animals to survive. We can also use them for fun. Pets are fun. Pets add enjoyment to our lives, just like going boating or swimming. Does going boating or swimming save our lives and keep us alive? No. Does having a pet keep us alive?
No.
But is it still important to some people?
Yes.
Yes. Very good. Are animals renewable? Can we make more animals?
Yes.
Can more animals be made by us or nature? Kingston? I can't hear a word you're saying. Quick, please. Yes, they can keep you emotionally happy, which could keep you alive, or they could protect you. But you don't need a pet to survive.
Yeah.
It is very nice though. But are animals renewable? Can they be remade again by nature or by people? Aaron. They can be remade in nature because of reproduction, which we learned about in plants. Well, it happens in animals too. They can reproduce. They can create more animals. But will it be renewable forever, Aaron?
No.
Because what happens if we're not careful and all the animals die? Can human beings make more animals? No. So yes, animals are renewable for now. Just like soil, just like water, just like trees. Victoria, that's not what we're doing right now. That should be underneath your textbook for that exact reason. Okay. Oh, let's look at page 35. I'm still reading. I get my next paragraph. I'm going to go ahead and read 2 more so that we can have time to read wholes, but make sure that you are following along. If I notice a lot of people not following along, then I will stop reading. And you guys will read. Minerals and fuels. Some natural resources are not as easy to see as water, trees, or soil. They are buried deep under the ground. So these next resources are things that we cannot see. They're buried deep under the ground. The first one is minerals. Minerals.
Miss Bose,
Yes, sorry.
mine does not say that.
It should.
It says they are buried deep under the ground.
That's what I said. I said they are buried deep under the ground. That's what I said. That's what mine says too. Okay, minerals. Minerals are natural substances found in rocks. So our next word, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and erase these because we're out of space. Okay, number 5 is the word minerals. Minerals. Minerals are natural. Does that mean humans make them? If they're natural, you can just tell me. No. Humans do not make natural things. What makes natural things? What makes natural things? Aaron. Nature. Because what's the base word of natural? Nature. You add the suffix al and you're saying whatever, you're turning that into an adjective, a describing word, meaning it comes from there. Minerals are natural substances found in rocks. Minerals are natural substances found in rocks. Well, if they're in rocks, are they easy for us to see? Like soil, trees, and water, and animals too? No, because we'd have to like open up the rock. Is it easy to open up a rock? No. So finish writing that, and then I'm going to continue. Yes, Sadie, quickly.
And they put minerals in water.
They don't put minerals in water, but minerals can be in water because what happens to rocks in water? Well, they don't turn into gold. Who remembers the word erosion? Erosion is where water or wind washes away little pieces of the rocks little by little. So rocks in water get worn away. Over time, that means the minerals that were in the rocks, because the water has eroded the rocks, can end up in the water. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Let's keep reading. Copper, gold, silver, and other metals are minerals. So do humans make copper, gold, silver, and some other metals? Not all other metals. So we'll just say, do humans make copper, gold, or silver? Carla?
No.
No, because they are minerals, which are natural resources, which means they are made by nature, not humans. They are used to make wire, coins, pots, and jewelry. Iron, marble, and limestone, those are some other minerals, are used to construct buildings. Sand and gravel are used to build roads. So what are the minerals mentioned in that paragraph? List, that means just give me a list of all the minerals mentioned in that paragraph. Smith?
Copper, gold, silver, coins.
Are coins the
Pots.
are coins and pots and jewelry the minerals? Are
No.
they the things that are found in nature, inside the rocks? No, those are the things that are made with those minerals. So coins, pots, and jewelries are not minerals. They are made out of minerals. Because who makes wire, coins, pots, and jewelry, Smith?
Us.
Humans. So are those things natural resources if humans make them, or natural substances if humans make them?
No.
No. So far we've got copper, gold, and silver for the minerals. What else? Aaron?
Iron, marble, limestone.
Good. Those are different types of rocks that are used to construct buildings. So are buildings the natural substance, the mineral? Aaron? No, they're made out of the natural substances. Okay, and what else? What else are minerals? What other minerals do they mention in that paragraph? Come on, guys, you all have the book. Smith told us copper, gold, silver. Aaron told us iron, marble, limestone. Michaela?
Buildings.
We just talked about that. Are buildings the natural substances found in rocks? Michaela, we just said that. Are buildings the natural substance found in rocks? Who creates buildings? So can they be natural at all? But they are made using iron, marble, and limestone, which are minerals, natural rock, substances found in rocks. Kingston? Sand and gravel. Those are used to build roads. Sand is tiny little pieces of rock. Gravel is slightly larger little pieces of rock. So the stuff you have in your driveway is just a bigger version of sand. Sand is teeny tiny little pieces of rock. Gravel is larger pieces of rock. That's the only difference between sand and gravel. Okay, let's move on. Read next. So we just talked about minerals. They're natural substances found in rocks. Smith, read the next paragraph. Read to us about the next type of resource.
Fuels. Other underground resources are fuels. A fuel is a natural resource that is used to make heat or energy. The United States has large amounts of oil, natural gas, and coal.
I've never seen it before. Why have I never seen it? Where are these fuels? This oil, natural gas, and coal. Where are these fuels? Why have I never seen them before? Victoria? Underground. Because remember, on this page, we're talking about all the natural resources we find under the ground. First, we talked about the resources we find on land, soil, trees, and animals. Then we talked about the resources we find in water. Now we're talking about the resources found underground, minerals and fuels like oil, natural gas, and coal. Keep going, Smith.
People use oil and natural gas to cook food, heat buildings, and run machines. They use oil and coal at power plants to produce electricity. Other industries use oil to make gasoline, plastics, paint, tires, and many other products.
Okay, let's look at that paragraph that Smith just read. Which of those things are the fuels? Not what's made with the fuels, but which of those things in that paragraph are the fuels, the natural resources found underground? Zadie?
Gasoline, plastics, paint, tires, and many other products.
Are those the things that are found in nature, or are those the things that humans make?
Those are things that humans make.
So can those be the fuels, the natural resources? No. If humans make them, even if they're made from a natural resource, they are not natural resources. So look at that paragraph again. What are the natural resources that fall under the category of fuels? Not gasoline, plastics, paint, tires. Those are made from this natural resource, this fuel. Victoria? Natural gas is one. Cullen?
Oil.
Oil is another. Michaela?
Gas to cook.
Nope. Again, it says people use oil and natural gas to cook food. So is cooking food the natural resource, Michaela? Because it's used. Natural resources are used to do that. Remember, if humans have to do it, even if they used a natural resource, is it a natural resource anymore? No. So Victoria told us natural gas. Cullen told us oil. What else? Smith?
Coal.
Coal. Are there any other natural fuels mentioned in that paragraph? No. Oil, natural gas, and coal is all found deep inside the earth. Deep inside the earth. Can we see them easily? No. But are they there? Yes. Do humans make them? No. Do humans use them to make other things? Yes. Okay, Smith, Read this last paragraph on page 35.
Non-renewable resources.
Oh my gosh, that has 2 prefixes. Keep going.
Minerals and fuels are examples of resources that are non-renewable. They cannot be replaced.
Okay, so Smith, what's our next word?
Non-renewable.
Let's look at now that we know what renewable means, let's look at non-renewable. And before we put down a definition, let's just see if we can figure out what it means by just looking at our prefixes and suffixes. So before, everybody write the word renewable and then put your pencil down because I want you to be paying attention to this. Do not be writing a definition because you don't know exactly what it is yet. So once you're finished writing the word non-renewable, put your pencil down and listen. Ethan, why is that out? Why is that out? Scoot your chair. So let's look. Again, what is the teeny tiny little word we see in this really long word? Colin.
New.
New. New means never been used. If we add RE to the beginning, what does that do to it, Colin? What is RE? The prefix RE. What does that mean?
Re.
Well, what does it mean?
Oh.
If you have the prefix RE, you read it like re. What does it do to the word that comes after? Come on, guys, I just said it. If you have the prefix RE, what does that mean, Victoria? It can happen again. Re means again, like repeat. Do it again. Redo. Do it again. Reread. Read it again. Re means you can do it again. So renew means you can make something new again. What is a bowl? What is the suffix able, a bowl, do to the word? Smith?
I lost my answer.
Zari?
Able.
Okay, what does it do? What does the suffix able do to the word that comes before it? Victoria, since you were the only one listening like 10 minutes ago when I said this, it means it turns it into a adjective that means it can do, something is able to do whatever that is. So if something is renewable, you are able to renew it. You are able to make it again. Well, what does the prefix non, N-O-N, do to a word? You should know this. What does the prefix N-O-N, those letters, remember prefix is letters that comes at the beginning, what does it do to the word that comes after? Aaron? It means you can't do whatever comes after. So if renewable means you're able to renew it, you're able to make it new again. Non means what, Aaron? You can't make it new again. So Smith, what is the definition of non-renewable?
They cannot be replaced.
Something can't be replaced. So that means minerals and fuels. Can we find more? Can we make more? If minerals and fuels are non-renewable, are we able to find more or make more? Is nature able to make more? Zadie?
No.
No, not even nature can make more. Not like soil or water or animals or trees. Nobody can make more. It cannot be replaced. Once it is gone, there is nowhere else we can look. It is gone. Smith, keep reading.
Once non-renewable resources are used up, they are gone forever. Even renewable resources can become...
That's a hard C and then a soft C. Cover up the C. and you have S-C-A-R-E. What is that word? S-C-A-R-E.
Scared.
But if you add a
Scar.
soft C at the end of that letter, at the end of that word, what would it sound like?
Scarce.
It's the same exact word, just with a soft C at the end.
Scarce.
Scarce. So read that sentence again.
Even renewable resources can become scarce or limited if overused. For this reason, Americans try to use natural resources wisely.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Soil, animals, water, trees are renewable unless we don't take care of it and we use too much of it, then they can become non-renewable. But minerals and fuels are non-renewable no matter what. The reasoning is that most fuels and minerals are made out of million-year-old dinosaur bones and plant life. Are there more dinosaurs and ancient plant life to create new minerals and fuels? No, they're not alive anymore, so they cannot die. And for us to become fuel or minerals, well, that's going to be millions of years from now. And does anybody have that long to wait? So it is non-renewable. Let's look at this table down at the bottom of page 35. What does this table show us, or this bar graph? This is called a bar graph. What does it show us? Zadie.
The top oil producing
Producing.
states.
How do you know that?
Because it says it at the top.
It says it at the top. It's the title. Well, what do the numbers on the side tell us? What do the numbers on the side of that bar graph tell us? Zari?
Barrels of oil per year in millions.
Good. So that means these numbers, 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Does that mean is it talking about 400 barrels? What's it talking about, Zari? 400 what?
Oils per year.
Not oils. It says barrels of oil per year. So we are talking about barrels. But are we only, if we look at this 400, are we only talking about 400 barrels?
No.
What are we talking about? 400 what? Look at what the label says. Barrels of oil per year.
400 million.
400 million. So usually bar graphs will do this because if they had to write out 400 million, that would take up a lot of space, right? So if they know, get it later, if they know they're talking about oil, about millions each time, do they need to keep writing comma 000, comma 000 each time? Or can they just put the number and say in millions? And then we know it's millions. Well, what do the words at the bottom of this bar graph tell us? Michaela?
States.
So different states. These are the top oil producing states at the bottom. The number that the bar graph lines up with is about how many million barrels of oil they produce. So which state produces the most every year? Kingston? Texas. And about how many barrels of oil do they produce in 1 year? About 400 million. Not about 400 barrels. That's not a whole lot. That would power one gas station for maybe a week. And does the United States only have one gas station that every single person has to go to? No. What is the least oil producing state of the top oil producing states? Aaron. Wyoming. This one's going to be a little tougher. About how many barrels do they produce in a year? It's about halfway between 0 and 100 million. What's halfway between 0 and 100 million? Not 50 million. Oh, wait, no, it is. I'm sorry. You're right. It is 50 million.
That's confused.
Halfway between 0 and 100 million is 50 million. So about 50 million barrels of oil. Yes, Sadie?
Page use restroom.
Go quickly. Okay, very good. So we can kind of see how to read a bar graph. Well, we're going to learn more about how to read a bar graph later on. You just look at the top of the bar, and then you follow it to wherever the labels on the side are. And then you match it to the closest line. How do people use fuels? Kingston. Louder. Fuels. To do what? To cook. To heat buildings. To run machines. What else, Aaron?
They use oil and coal to power plants.
To power plants. So to produce electricity. What else, Carla?
They use it to make cathode plastic.
Gasoline is that first word, Carla. Gasoline is the first word.
Gasoline, plastic, plants.
Not
tires,
plants.
and
We don't make
other-
plants out of fuel. We don't make plants out of oil. What does that say?
Paint,
Good.
tires, and any other produce.
Products. Good. Okay, turn the page. Let's read the end. Kingston, go ahead and read loud and slow.
People and resources.
Louder.
When people use natural resources, they change their environment. They change the surrounding in which people, plants, and animals live.
So what's our next word, Kingston?
Environment.
Environment. Make sure you spell it right. There's a random N that you wouldn't think is there. Environment. Environment is how I think of it when I'm trying to spell it. And Kingston, it looks like the answer, the definition isn't there, but it actually is. What is the environment?
Where people, plants, and animals live.
But it's, what word should we put before? The what? Victoria, can you find it?
The surroundings in which we live.
He just found it. Say it louder and slower.
The surroundings in which people, plants, and animals live.
Good. The surroundings in which people, plants, and animals live. How could you tell that that was the definition, Kingston? I can't hear you. Well, look at the sentence, the first sentence. When people use natural resources, they change their environment. They change their environment is what it says about the environment. Then the very next sentence says they change the surroundings in which people, plants, and animals live. That's telling you they change their environment means the same exact thing as they change the surroundings in which people, plants, and animals live. That is telling you that it's environment and surroundings in which people, plants, and animals live is the same thing. Kingston, keep going.
Using resources wisely. Over time, people have realized that all resources are limited.
Even the renewable resources, are they permanent and around forever, class? No. We're on the next page, lady. Keep going.
People today understand the importance of conservation.
Good. Come on, Kingston.
Conservation is the protection.
Not protection, but
protecting the natural resources and
So what's our last word, Kingston? Conservation. Conservation. And what is conservation?
The protecting of natural resources and using them wisely.
The protecting of natural resources, so making sure people don't use them in a way, they don't use them too much. The protecting of natural resources, making sure that they're still around, they're still available. And using them wisely. We have to use natural resources. There is no way around that. We would not be able to live without natural resources. So we can't protect them to the point where nobody uses them. So conservation makes sure that they are protected, but not completely protected to where nobody can use them because we have to, but making sure that when we are using them, we are using them wisely. Smith, please don't do that. So conservation, we can't just say don't use natural resources, because what would happen to us if we never use natural resources? Zari.
We wouldn't be able to leave.
We wouldn't be able to
We
live.
wouldn't be able
We would
to
have
live.
no food, we would have no heat, we would have no shelter, we would have no nothing. So we have to use it. We just have to make sure that we are using it wisely. Okay, thank you, Kingston. Zadie, read the last bit of that paragraph and then read us the summary of this lesson. Actually, just read us the last little bit, because I have a question I want to ask before we read the summary.
Using fewer natural resources is one way to conserve them.
Does it say using none?
No.
Because is that an option?
No.
No.
People can save oil by driving less. Many Americans also recycle or reuse products. Recycling paper, for example, conserves trees.
So recycling helps to conserve because rather than using trees to make more paper, plants can use old paper to create new paper. So if they're using old paper to create new paper, do they have to cut more trees down? Or can they use the trees that were already cut down and turned into paper? Zari?
They can use the paper that they already cut down, that they used,
Exactly.
and they can recycle it.
Same with plastic bottles, which use a lot of fuels to create. Same with glass. Same with anything else that is recyclable. We can make more out of the old stuff rather than having to use natural resources to create brand new stuff. So why is conservation important? This is that reading check question. Why is conservation important? Think about it. The answer might not be right there, but knowing what conservation means and knowing what can happen otherwise will help you to make an inference about why conservation is important. Carla.
Conservation is important because if you use them very wisely, we can save the natural source.
Good. So if we use, conservation is important because it allows us to use our resources wisely so that we don't run out. Okay. Zadie, go ahead and read us the summary of this lesson. So what is the main idea of what we learned today? Summaries are main ideas with a couple supporting details.
The United States is rich in natural resources. People depend on these resources to survive and live well. For this reason, Americans try to protect natural resources and use them wisely.
Very good. So summaries are just the main ideas of all the different pieces of an article, a story, whatever. Okay, very good. Girls at home, go ahead and get out your social studies homework. I will pass it out at school. We will talk about it really quick. And then if we have time, we will read some of Hull's. Okay, so girls at home, make sure you're looking at it. So at the top, the directions say, next to each resource, write 2 ways in which people use it. You do not have to write complete sentences. So for trees, what are 2 ways people use it? For water, what are 2 ways people use it? For minerals, what are 2 ways people use it? For fuels, what are 2 ways people use it? Are you mentioning the actual minerals or the actual fuels? No. You are writing ways people use it. So next to minerals, do not write gold, silver, copper. Next to fuels, do not write oil, natural gas, coal. Because you're not writing examples of the natural resources, you are writing how people use it. At the bottom, it says, use what you have learned about natural resources to complete the table below. Write the terms from the word bank in the correct column. So you have a column of renewable resources and a column of non-renewable resources. We talked about this a lot. I mentioned a lot of these. The book mentions a lot of these. Look at what the item is and then figure out, can humans make it happen like trees? Can they plant more trees? Or can nature make it happen? Like, can animals have babies? So make sure that you're paying attention. Most of these things were mentioned somewhere in the book or in what we talked about. So pay close attention. Yes, Aaron.
At the top, when you have to write 2 things about the thing, does it have to come from the book or can it come from your mind?
As long as it's correct, it can come from your mind. But if you're not sure, if you're not 100% sure, stick to the book. But if you are 100% sure that something in your brain, Aaron, works, then yes. Okay, you should be able to fit these words evenly. Okay, go ahead and put that in take-home folder.